These teachers are every parent's worst nightmare.
And then I asked him all what happened between him and his teacher. He told us that they kissed and they had sex.
Imagine sending your innocent child to school for an education, only for them to come across a teacher that traumatizes them for life.
I don't
feel comfortable talking about my attorney present.
Okay, no problem.
Here are the top 5 most horrific incidents where teachers were caught red-handed for doing the unspeakable.
Come here.
First up is a case from 2017, where the perpetrator Brittany Zamora was arrested for doing something that no parent could ever think of. Her actions soon led to her arrest in March 2018, a complete year after the actual incident happened. Young and newly married, seeking all kinds of adventures with her husband, and a teaching career taking off. In all accounts, Brittany Zamora's life was no less than a fairy tale. However, this fairy tale quickly turned into a nightmare. Graduating with a 4.0 GPA in both her undergraduate and master's programs, Brittany Zamora had, to say the least, an impressive resume. Repeatedly named Teacher of the Year and Teacher of the Month, no one suspected that this beloved educator was a predator undercover in the classroom. It all started with a classroom messaging app. What started off as innocent conversations between a 6th grade child and his teacher soon turned into flirting. Soon enough, the flirting got intense, but the worst part is that it did not stop there. Brittany Zamora and the victim soon got physical, and according to the police, there were at least 4 encounters between Zamora and her student that were inappropriate in nature. From forced meetups in cars to classrooms, Zamora made sure to exploit the 13-year-old boy every single chance she possibly got. "He'll suffer forever because of you," said the 13-year-old victim's lawyer during the court hearings. More than a year after the incident, Brittany Zamora learned her fate after she admitted to having inappropriate contact with her 13-year-old student. The former 6th grade teacher was sentenced to 20 years in prison. The victim's family was not physically present in the courtroom during the hearing, but their lawyer read statements on their behalf.
My client was a 13-year-old 6th grader. He went to school. It appears that the relationship with Brittany Zamora, she started communicating with him. Brittany Zamora started text messaging and using a private Instagram account to communicate.
The victim's mother expressed her hatred towards Zamora for what she had done to her son, while the victim's father vowed that their family would defeat her and his son would grow up and have a good life. "I pray that you never have the blessing to have a child," the victim's dad said in his statement. Zamora's mom begged the judge for the minimum sentence.
"We beg you to please limit Brittany's sentencing time as low as you can,"
saying she's not a monster and was abandoned by her father.
"Please understand, this is not a monster. She's a beautiful person."
But it's safe to say that the excuses did not work. The prosecutor asked the judge to sentence Zamora to 27 years in prison.
That you sentence Brittany Zamora to the aggravated term of 27 years in prison.
Zamora shakes her head no when the prosecutor says she begged the victim's family not to go to the police. Another mother also stepped up and said that Zamora tried to groom her son. Zamora shakes her head no. In response, once again, the second mother finished her statement yelling at Zamora,
"You deserve the maximum sentencing. You should be embarrassed and ashamed of yourself," and
telling her that everyone hates a child molester. Zamora got tearful when lawyers said she should never have children. The victim's lawyer stood before Zamora, reading aloud a statement from the victim's mother.
"With the child. This has affected our family and my son deeply, and we're trying to make sure that he can still enjoy a normal childhood."
Her words were laced with pain as she expressed how her son no longer recognized himself after what had been done to him. "I trusted you, and I hate you for what you did to my son," are 2 of the mother's statements that will probably haunt Brittany Zamora for the rest of her life. Brittany played a sly game and tried to remain clever with her crime. But what happens when this dumb teacher literally goes up to eyewitnesses telling them to not call the police? On January 11th, 2022, police received a disturbing report involving a math teacher at Deltona Middle School. The teacher, 29-year-old Carlos Aguirre Rendon, had committed something utterly shameful and disgusting. The investigation began after a shocking incident where Aguirre was reported to have kissed a 15-year-old student on the lips inside his classroom. Prior to this, the student's parents had already raised concerns, noting that they had seen Aguirre getting way too close to their daughter. The victim's mother also included an unsettling incident where Aguirre was spotted with his arm around her daughter at a local park. Interviews with witnesses indicated that Aguirre often attempted to completely isolate the student, making efforts to be alone with her, and appeared to be seeking a relationship far beyond what is considered appropriate between a teacher and student. Upon further investigation, deputies also discovered that Aguirre had been approaching potential witnesses at Firefighters Memorial Park in Deltona. He inquired about the victim and instructed at least one witness not to speak to the police. Carlos Aguirre was arrested and booked under the name Carlos A. Rendon at the Volusia County Branch Jail. He was charged with lewd or lascivious conduct and witness tampering, and Aguirre posted a $12,500 bond for his release in a few days. The authorities stated that additional charges may be possible, depending on the outcome of the ongoing investigation. While these evil teachers strayed from their work in perfectly normal settings, this next teacher proves that children are not safe even with special education teachers, those specifically trained to work for kids with special needs. It all started when this teenager's phone and his 25,000 plus texts with his predatory teacher were exposed. Earlier this year, Allison Reidrach, 43, a former teacher at Freehold Intermediate School, was reported for allegedly essaying a student. Later into the investigation, a prosecutor informed the court that the teacher was obsessed with the alleged victim. The abuse reportedly began earlier in 2024. Once the investigation began, it was unclear whether Reidrach had entered a plea.
The house to
I don't
speak
feel
to.
comfortable talking about my attorney present.
Okay.
Her attorneys, Thomas Huth and William Wachowski, did not respond to requests for comments. During a court session on July 5th, Assistant Prosecutor Danielle Zanzuke revealed that there had been approximately 25,000 text messages exchanged between the suspect and the 15-year-old boy. According to reports, the boy's phone was handed over to authorities after a consent form was signed, allowing police to search it as part of the investigation.
We're gonna talk to the attorneys and stuff like that, Multnomah County prosecutors, and see what happens. We don't make the decision.
The student allegedly told a friend that he was in a relationship with Reidrach. Another teacher reported witnessing the suspect rubbing the victim's neck and back in a circular motion and appearing to flirt with him, while also noticing her touching his leg, according to Zanzuke. At one point during the investigation, the boy was hospitalized for a mental health evaluation due to concerns for his well-being. This was so much for this kid that he ended up having a mental health crisis in the middle of the investigation, Zanzuki stated in court, as reported by Jersey Shore Online. Zanzuki characterized Reidrach, a married mother of 2 young children, as being obsessed with this child. Superior Court Judge Vincent N. Faltitano ordered her release from jail and placed her on home detention. Reports indicate that the teacher's husband and parents attended the court proceedings to support her. Reidrach has since lost her teaching position. The Office of Freehold Borough School Superintendent Asia Michael did not comment immediately, but referred people to a statement published by media outlets, which emphasized that the safety and well-being of our students and staff have been our top priority, and we took immediate measures to ensure their protection. Reidrach faces charges of first-degree aggravated SA and second-degree endangering the welfare of a child, according to a news release from the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office. Currently, she is still detained after being arrested in June 2024. Now, we have often heard that coaches don't play, but you will be surprised to find out that in this game of evil, even the coaches are not staying behind. Our next case is the perfect example of that. In 2023, the Winter Garden Police Department arrested Vigiland Dhaiti, a 40-year-old cheerleading coach, after a warrant had been issued in Lake County. Dhaiti faced multiple counts of lewd and lascivious molestation, with accusations involving minors between the ages of 12 and 15. The case sent shockwaves through the local community, as Dhaiti had been a well-known person in the cheerleading circle. Body camera footage captured an emotional Dhaiti in tears.
You're not handcuffed right now. I want you to remain calm and be cool, okay?
as officers took him into custody. It seems that he was having a panic attack.
Right, just stand still for a second. Hang on one second.
Once the police took notice of that, they removed his handcuffs, but still let him know that he would be arrested. Vigiland Dhaiti had been the co-owner and head coach at Rush All-Stars and had also served as a Pop Warner Nationals judge and high school choreographer, according to the World Cheer Center website. The release of the body camera footage intensified public scrutiny as the investigation progressed. The investigation began in January 2022 when Claremont police were alerted to allegations against Dhaiti.
To be 100% honest with you, one of the directives we got was to collect your phone, so I have to seize your phone for evidence.
Since then, 3 victims, who were 14 and 15 years old at the time of the incidents, had come forward with some accusations dating back to 2013. Police stated that the alleged molestation had occurred at the Rush All-Stars gym. During a news conference, Sergeant Aaron Rezo of the Winter Garden Police Department confirmed that Dhaiti had not worked at the gym since the allegations had surfaced. In addition to his role at Rush All-Stars, Dhaiti had coached at various gyms across Central Florida, including at high schools. Orange County Public Schools had also confirmed Dhaiti's employment as a teacher within the district. According to a statement, Dhaiti had been placed on administrative leave from Cypress Creek High School in January 2022, pending an internal investigation by the Office of Professional Standards. He had not been on campus since that time. Claremont police urged anyone with additional information or other potential victims to come forward as the investigation continued.
It's going to be the Orange County booking and receiving facility on downtown Orlando.
During the court proceedings, the first and third counts of Dhaiti's indictment were dismissed in line with the 41-year-old's plea agreement made in July 2023. These counts included one charge of possessing images and videos depicting the exploitation of children, and another charge related to enticing a minor to engage in inappropriate behavior. Months and months later, Vigiland Dhaiti, 41, was sentenced in federal court to 29 years in prison after pleading guilty to forcing a minor victim to produce a visual depiction of some explicit content. And that put an end to his story. Typically, older teachers are seen as more trustworthy in educational environments. But this 61-year-old teacher from Minnesota proves that lust and predatory behaviors have no age limit. On October 13th, horrifying events went down in Blaine, Minnesota. When the city's police received a call from the officials of Blaine Middle School, they weren't ready for what they were about to hear. It was a report against the 61-year-old substitute teacher, Gerald Robinson, who had allegedly touched at least 2 underage girls inappropriately. Not only that, but he also made other female students uncomfortable by staring at them like the creepy old man that he was.
The last event that I remember taking place is that Officer Leland tried to contact me, and I said, well, I have an attorney, because he was wanting to bring me in for questioning.
And still, all of this was not enough for our old fella Gerald. He went on to make very inappropriate comments on middle school girls, supposedly his students, according to reports. After the first police contact, Gerald Williams had to be investigated for at least a whole month before he could finally be arrested. Then, the police went on to take him into custody and booked him into Whatcom County Jail without incident. However, the perpetrator soon managed to bond himself out of jail. To be more specific,
What am I being arrested for?
Child molestation in the first degree.
Gerald was taken into custody on Thursday, November 2nd, 2023, and released from Whatcom County Jail the following Friday after posting a whopping $25,000 bail.